Hey everyone, what's up? It's Lisa, and thanks for being here. We are going to use 2 blocks for our practice today. Maybe grab a blanket if your knees are a little bit sensitive. And we're going to start on our back. Just have your block nearby. So grab one, set it aside, and just come onto your back with your knees bent. And if you like, you can set something up underneath your head. You could even use the block under your head, or you could just lay down on a blanket or nothing. And just keep your knees bent for a few breaths as you settle and start to shift gears here. So take your time to lay down. I like to sort of wiggle around a little bit and move and just physically get yourself here. And take a comfortable position with your legs and arms. And close your eyes. Relax your face and jaw. Take a few cleansing breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth to start. And just kind of hearing the sound of the breath and feeling that sort of vibration of the breath a little bit through the body as you make it somewhat audible for yourself. Just like a sigh. Allow your mind to catch up with your body. So use your breath to help. Just allow your brain to sort of settle, your thoughts to shift, redirect. Your body might be completely comfortable and still, and your mind might be all over the place. So just give yourself the time to set up and be here. And just allow yourself to feel what comes up for you in your body for the next hour or so, without trying to rush, strain, force anything in or out. Start to soften the front of your body. And as you inhale, feel a rise start from the belly through the center, the ribs, and then up into the chest. The collarbones expand, that in-breath. And then exhale, just let everything come back, soften in and out. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest, expand, pause. Exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest, broaden. Exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. Take a couple more at your own pace and just feel that you're sort of riding a wave in and up, out and down. Find a cadence that works for you. And then with as little effort as possible, we're going to grab that block actually and slide it right under your pelvis. So just lift up, maybe the low setting, so we can just ease our way into this supported bridge. And allow your pelvis to drop heavy on your block, and allow your hips to sort of fall back over the edge of your block. And just be here for a few breaths. Just maintain that wave-like breath for a few more rounds, and just feel your feet just firmly rooted onto your mat. Just feel lengthening through the front body, almost feeling as if you're Getting that posterior pelvic tilt like you're trying to reach your tailbone slightly forward, feeling the front of your hips and thighs open, lengthen, almost as if you're drawing your low ribs and your frontal hip points together, maintaining a core connection. And then as you inhale, bring your right knee into your chest and give it a gentle squeeze. And start to keep your left heel connected to the mat, but start to extend your left leg and just lengthen out and drive that left heel down. Take a few rounds of breath to get there if you need to, but keep your left active. And just hug the midline with your inner left thigh slightly. And keep allowing the hips to move back in space. And as you allow your hips to move back in space, dig your left heel down. Keep a softness behind your left knee the whole time. We're not trying to straighten it out. And as you compress a little more through the right, you're just finding more space through the left. Take another breath there. Walk your left foot in, plant the foot down first, and then bring the right next to it about hips distance apart. Get robot arms here with your, your arms pressing down, squeezing your shoulder blades together, and notice how your low back wants to lift. Hug your low ribs in, scoop your hips underneath you as you squeeze your glutes. Take a big inhale to prepare, and then exhale, press down to lift up. So keep squeezing your glutes and hugging your shoulder blades, pressing your arms down, finding more space through the front of your hips. Feel your feet pressing down, feel your heels, give them a little tug back underneath you, and feeling the hamstrings engage. Take another breath. And lower your hips down, back to your block. Hug your left knee in, and keep your right heel on the mat and just start to walk it out a little further away from you. Take a few rounds of breath. You don't have to go all the way right away. So take your time, relax and soften. Let your low back drape and allow your hips to tilt back in space as you hug your left knee in a little bit tighter and reach through the right heel, but keep a softness behind your right knee. And hug the midline with your inner right thigh. So it almost acts as like an internal rotation of your right thigh bone. And just feeling that hug from the outer right hip in. Relax your jaw. Keep your right leg active. Feel that through the back side of your leg. One more breath. We'll walk the right foot in first. Bring your left foot down next to it. Set up your arms. Prepare with your inhale. Squeeze your glutes. Hug your low ribs in. Press down to lift up with your exhale. Maybe finding a little more space through the front of the body as you strengthen through the back body. You can even take your hands to your frontal hip points and just kind of feel in space where your pelvis is. And if your hips are even, without straining, you're trying to lengthen the tailbone towards the front of your mat as you lift your hips, up, press down with your arms. Take one more breath. And slowly lower down to your block. From here, bring your knees up to float over your hips. And send your legs up to the ceiling. And from here, we're just gonna start to roll the ankles around, point and flex, spread the toes. Keep allowing your hips to move back in space a little bit, but keep the support of your block. And then just find a moment, pause through center. Keep your knees soft, and we're gonna rotate the ankles to the right. So just making circles with both to the right, and as you're doing this, maybe spread the toes, point and flex. It's weirdly harder than you think to do this. It's kind of like more of a brain activity than anything. And then pause through center, inhale. Exhale, rotate them both to the left. And just keep breathing. And then pause through center. Inhale, shake out the feet a little bit. And you're gonna rotate your right foot, start to the right, and rotate your left to the left. So they're going in opposite directions. Breathing. Come back to center, pause, maybe shake it out. And then rotate your right foot into the left and your left foot out to the right. So now they're going in reverse. And breathe, maybe just close your eyes so you don't think about it too hard, because after a minute it feels weird and it feels like you're doing it wrong, but you're not. And then pause through center, shake, 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 shake. Kick your heels up and send your toes down and just press like you're standing on the ceiling. Pull your toes back towards your shins. Try and get your knees as straight as possible. Maybe reach your hands towards your feet. Allow your spine to round. Just think as like almost like you're doing a forward fold here. Get the fuzz out of your toes from your socks. Take another big breath. And then slowly come on back upright. Just bend your knees, let your feet dangle for a moment. Just to slowly set the pelvis back. Maybe wiggle your pelvis a little side to side here. Reset, and then place one foot to your mat at a time. One more bridge pose. Take an inhale to prepare. Squeeze your glutes. Hug your low ribs in. Try and get the front and back body even. Exhale, press down to lift up. Use one hand or two hands to remove that block from underneath you. And slowly walk your shoulders under. Press down with your feet. Tug the heels back. Take a big breath. Slowly exhale all the way down to your mat. Hug your knees into your chest. Maybe keeping your knees split apart so you can just widen through the low back here. Take a moment to breathe. Keep your right knee into your chest and extend your left leg long on your mat. Take a moment, just stretch out as you compress to the right, lengthen, keep that left leg active. Take a breath in and exhale, use your left hand, take an easy twist, bring that right knee over towards the left side and just reach your right arm out any amount. Just make it really easy here. And no right or wrong, just take a few deep breaths. Feel a lengthening in your low back, maybe elevate a little through your chest. Release your neck and jaw. Just be here, let that feel really good. Come back to center. Keep your right knee bent, but plant your right foot to the mat. Set up your arms like you're setting up for bridge and float the left knee right over your left hip, shin parallel to the mat. Activate your left foot. Squeeze your glutes as you press down to inhale, prepare, draw your low ribs in. Exhale, lift your hips. Inhale, tap them to the floor. Exhale, press to lift. Inhale to tap, spread your right toes. Exhale to lift. Low ribs in. Inhale, tap. Exhale, lift. Inhale, tap. Exhale, lift. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, lift. 2 more. Inhale, keep your core engaged. Exhale, lift. Last one. Inhale. And exhale, lift, hold, tug that right heel back and breathe for 3. Scoop your hips underneath you for 2. And 1, slowly lower your hips down and then just hug both knees in. Maybe extend your legs up, take a big breath, just find a place that you can sort of release and come back to neutral, maybe shake. Vibrate a little bit, and then just from here, hug your left in and extend your right leg out. Take a couple breaths as you settle right here, just preparing. And when you feel ready, come across into your twist. And again, just feel for reaching through that left arm. Doesn't matter if the left shoulder is on the floor. Just finding a little space. Make it work for you. There's no right or wrong. Take one more nice big breath, just as you are. Come on back to center. Plant your left foot to your mat like a bridge. Set up your arms, float your right knee right over that right hip. I like to activate my right foot as well. So try and press your low back down towards the mat, low ribs in. Take an inhale, squeeze your glutes. Exhale, press to lift up. Inhale, we tap down. Exhale, we press to lift. Inhale, tap down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. 3 more. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. 2. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Last one, inhale. Exhale, lift and hold for 3, 2, tug that heel back. And 1, lower slowly down. And then right foot releases, maybe hug the knees in, maybe stretch your legs up, whatever feels good. Take a moment there. And just start to rock and roll as you feel ready. Maybe 1 or more than 1 time. Just take a few moments. Come all the way up, grab your blocks, bring them to the top of your mat. And just come on forward to hands and knees for a few moments. I want you to just do what you feel. Just move around a little bit here. I like a little blanket under my knees today. Spread your fingers wide. Just take any movement. Freedom here to move and breathe and close your eyes and check in. Just take your time and feel through each individual breath, all the way from your feet up through to your hips, your spine, your shoulders, down into your hands. And from here, find a moment. Inhale, cow pose together. Exhale, press and round into your cat. Push the floor away, protract the shoulder blades. Inhale, pull your chest through, maybe elbows bend slightly to widen your collarbones. Exhale, press and round, draw your navel in and push the floor away. And one more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, curl your toes, come to neutral. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just press it up and back. And same thing here, just take some movement. So pedal it out, reach through your arms and shoulders, spread your fingers wide, and grab your mat as if you're grabbing a rounded surface. Just take any movement here. Find some space. Maybe you already feel a little new space in the back of your legs, perhaps. Lift your heels, look forward. We're just gonna tippy toe our feet all the way to our hands. So just take your time coming up. Inhale, come into a nice long spine. Pull your chest forward, scoop your hips back. Exhale, fold over your legs and release your head. And just take a few moments with your feet about hips distance apart in your forward fold. So really soften in here, release over your legs. Keep your knees softly bent to feel like you're reaching your hips up to the ceiling and the crown of your head down to the floor. So any amount that you need to bend your knees to make yourself feel a little bit longer through the spine. Keep your feet actively pressing. And again, inhale to that halfway point. Pull your chest forward. Keep the back of your neck long. Scoop your hips back, low ribs in. Exhale, release and fold. Soften your knees and inhale, round your spine, come all the way up. And just take your time pressing down and then sweeping your arms up. Push the floor away, squeeze your glutes a little bit, press your hips forward. Exhale, hands to your heart. Take a big breath in. And exhale, just fold right back down. Inhale, heart forward and lengthen. Exhale, we're gonna step our right foot back and we're gonna turn halfway to the right so that we're in our prasarita. So from this prasarita, I'm just gonna start by bending and straightening a few times. Have a block handy just within arm's reach. So just gonna find any movement here that works for you. Maybe you already feel like you can just come right into your forward fold, whatever works. Just take a few breaths. Finding more space, spinning those inner thighs back. Maybe that means you have to bend your knees a little bit to scoop your hips up and back. That's fine. Push, drive your feet into the floor. Inhale, lift your gaze, look forward. Bend your right knee only, keeping your foot as it is. Walk your hands to the upper left corner, reaching through that right hand. Maybe you want to use a block here, so you can bring your right hand on top of your left, drop your head down. And as you reach through your right arm, pull your right hip back. Feel a nice length through that right side, inner left thigh. And then from here, we're gonna start to straighten the right knee and use it as almost like a little springboard to come forward, pivot, drop your right knee down. Left foot is forward. So just drop into that right hip here, take a moment, elevate the chest. And just take a nice, just little lunge here, pressing down, squeezing the midline. Exhale, half split. Kick the left toes up, pull your left heel back a little, almost like you're trying to tug it back. Plug that left thigh bone, hug the midline with your inner thigh, scoop your hips back. Release your neck. Take another breath here. Inhale, lift your gaze, rebend your left knee. Curl your right toes under and lift your right knee up. Stretch it long, elevate, inhale. Come into your wide pyramid as you exhale. So keeping the feet as wide apart as they are, just pulling your chest forward. Your hands can frame that left foot or be inside your left foot. Totally up to you. Take another moment, another breath here. Press down into that left big toe mound. Inhale, lift your gaze, rebend your left knee. We're gonna step that right foot up and behind the left foot, crossing at the ankles. Now my knees are gonna bend a little so my right knee can push into the left. I'm gonna walk my hands out over to the left side, reaching through my right hand. I'm gonna tug my right hip back and try and press my big toes down into my mat. Feeling through that whole right seam, side seam of your body, from the pinky finger all the way down through that right outer hip. Try not to lean to the left. Try and pull that right hip back. Take one more breath. And slowly walk back, face the top of your mat, and just uncross. Nothing fancy. Inhale, halfway lift, pull your chest forward. And one more time, exhale, step your right foot back, spin halfway to the right, take a block with you, prasarita. Inhale, find length, drive your feet down, scoop your hips back. Exhale, fold. Try and lean into it a little bit. Notice if you're bringing weight more into your heels, bend your knees a little so you can bring weight more forward into the balls of your feet. And then spin your inner thighs back. Feel like you're spreading your sit bones apart and reaching your hips up. Allow the front of your pelvis to sort of spill forward over your thighs. Take another deep breath here. Inhale, lengthen, look forward, bend your left knee only. Keep your toes as they are, walk your hands out towards the right, reaching through that left arm, pulling the left hip back. Keep driving through the right foot as well as you reach, reach, reach. Breathe. Lift your gaze, look forward. You're gonna springboard. We're gonna face the back of our mat. So you're gonna straighten the left, spin towards the back of your mat, and drop the left knee down. And just pull your chest up, lift up and out of your low back here in your lunge. Just find a little space. So scoop your hips underneath you, drive that right foot down, tug the right heel back. Take a few breaths. Just take a moment to be here. Keep it active. Try not to sit into the hip joints. Try and feel as if you're dropping in, but then lifting up and out of it. When you're ready, exhale, half split, your version. Whatever version feels best for you. Just keep your right foot active. Dig your right heel down. Soften behind your right knee. Scoop your hips back behind you. Keep length through your low back. Keep it honest. Keep it free. So find freedom, not restrictions here. If you notice you're dropping a little to your left, just squeeze your left hip in and a little to the right. Take one more breath here. And then lift your gaze, rebend your right, curl your left toes under. We're gonna find our two straight legs. So just whatever that means for you. Maybe it means softening one or both knees a little bit, but just driving down through your feet. Feeling a little space. You absolutely can move in these poses if you feel like you're not quite there yet. There's no reason for you to be 100% perfectly still. Take one more breath here. Rebend your right, look forward. You're gonna step that left foot behind your right, cross at your ankles. And then again, soften your knees so that left knee might kind of push into the right. You're gonna walk over to the right, reaching through that left arm, hugging the left hip back, dropping your head, pressing into your big toes. Maintain that you're scooping your hips back, so any amount of bending the knees to feel that. So there's no strain in your low back. Inhale, lift, look forward. Just walk back to straighten out, uncross. And then fold. Inhale, lift your heart, look forward. You're gonna take this block with you. Step back with your left foot, spin halfway to the left, Prasarita once again. This time, walk your hands out forward, almost like you're coming into a down dog. Let your hips pull you back, drop in. You don't have to use the block, I'm just using it, but you're just driving your feet down and curling your hips up, spinning your inner thighs back. Inhale, lift your gaze, walk your hands back towards you, spin to the top of your mat, and step your right foot forward to meet your left, and fold, and let your head go. Keep your feet about hips distance apart. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen, and exhale to fold. And just round your spine, push the floor away. Come all the way up again. Just take your time, create space, push down as you rise up, and exhale, hands release. From here, just take a breath, feel both feet on your mat, and actually step back just a tiny bit away from the top of your mat so you have a little bit of space in front of you. And we're gonna stand on our right foot, balance, and bring your left knee into your chest. So take a moment to stand up tall, spread your toes of your right foot, soften your right knee, squeeze your glutes here, and just feel for rising up, finding your balance first. And we're gonna start to bend and straighten into that right knee. So just take a few bends and straightens, draw your low ribs in, Press into your right big toe. Sometimes balance is not a friend. Just starting to activate the back of your right leg. And then from here, we're gonna release the left hand, release that left shin. We're gonna bring our left knee as high up as we can as we push down with our right leg. And as slow as you can, you're gonna send the ball of the left foot to line up with your right heel. Keep the left heel lifted, hands to your hips. Low ribs in. Inhale to a halfway point. Keep that long spine, scoop your hips back. Get lighter in your left foot, heavier in the right. Exhale, drive to lift up. You should feel that in the back of your right leg, and maybe your glutes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, drive to press. Get lighter in the left toes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, push to rise. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, press to rise. Try and squeeze your glutes, press your hips forward. 2 more like that. Inhale. Squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale to rise and pause. This time we're gonna lift that left foot up, just right where it's hovering. And inhale, come halfway. Come to your point to hold for 3. Find space for 2, press into your right big toe, and then exhale, press to rise, pause, and then release and shake it out. Standing on your left, just take a moment to get situated. Lift your right heel up. We're gonna bring that right knee into our chest. Aww. And just take a few moments to find balance here. Press into your left big toe. Squeeze your glutes, stand up as tall as you can. Start to bend and straighten your left knee when you're ready. There's no right or wrong here. We're just working on finding some strength in the back of that leg and noticing how we're using it. Soften your jaw, fix your gaze softly somewhere that helps you to find balance and focus. And whenever you, balance does not want to stick with me today. Whenever you're ready, you're gonna just bring that right knee as high as you can. Stand up as tall as you can, release your hands and hold for 3. Pull it up, press down with the left for 2. And 1, slowly release and set the ball of the right foot down next to the heel of your left foot. Hands to your hips, get lighter in the right. So the right is holding, let's just like less percentage than your left, so heavier in the left. Inhale to that halfway point. Drive down to lift up as you exhale, squeeze your glutes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, press to rise. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, press. Maybe get a little lighter in the right. Inhale, lengthen. Kick your tailbone up. Make sure you're not rounding your spine. Inhale, think cow pose or up dog. Exhale, 1 more just like that. Inhale. And exhale, press to rise. Pause at the top. Float those right toes. Inhale, find your place, you're halfway. Squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back. Push into that left big toe for 3. Low ribs in for 2. And 1, press down to rise up. Pause. And then release. And shake, 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 shake. Oh yeah. And then just come back to the top of your mat. Inhale. Sweep everything up. Just get nice and tall. Try and straighten the backs of those knees. Squeeze your glutes. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, plant your hands. Step back to your plank pose. And in your plank, just kind of rock a little forward and back, side to side. Just really push through the legs, push through the hands. Spread the shoulder blades, look forward. And drop all the way down to your stomach. And from here, bring your feet about hips distance apart. Tent your fingers off About 10 and 2. And press your legs down, root down through your pelvis. Your hips are heavy. Squeeze your shoulder blades and just slowly come up. So finding some space at the top. Really squeeze your glutes to stabilize your pelvis before you come into any back bend. And then slowly lower down. And press down to rise up. And slowly lower, just like a wave. Keep it really active through the lower half of your body and press down to rise. Take a moment, use whatever breath you like. And lower. And one more. Come all the way up. And down. Plant your hands just under your forehead. And just walk your feet in a tad closer. Not all the way, just a little bit closer. Together. Excuse me, point your toes. And feel for pressing both of your frontal hip points down into your mat. So you want to just notice, just bring your brain into that area and notice how that feels. And then keeping your left leg driving down into your mat, point your right toes and lift your right leg up. Notice that your right hip point feels heavier than your left. Try and get that left hip point to drive down as well again. And then from here, point as you extend that right knee. First, flex the right ankle and exhale, bend. Inhale, point, extend, keep both hip points pressing, exhale, flex, and bend. Heel towards your sit bone, inhale, point, extend, exhale, flex, and bend. Keep the core engaged as well. Inhale, point, extend, exhale, flex, and bend. Inhale, point, extend, exhale, flex, and bend. Hold here. Press your right heel up and breathe for 3. Hip points down for 2. Low belly in. And then extend and release. And then just shake out your hips. Fun. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. And then just re-engage here. So just set up, give yourself the opportunity and the time to prepare. So pressing both frontal hip points down, legs both strong and straight. Point your left toes and just keep pressing your right leg firmly down as you lift your left leg, keeping it as straight as possible. And then pressing the left hip, feel for getting the right hip point to press equally. Squeezing your glutes, drawing your navel in. Point your left toes, inhale, extend. Flex and bend as you exhale. Inhale, point, extend. Exhale, flex, and bend. Inhale, point, extend. Exhale, flex, and bend. Keep pressing that right hip down. Inhale, point, extend. Notice the difference between the two sides. Exhale, flex, and bend. Inhale, point, extend. Exhale, flex, and bend. Last one. Inhale, point, extend. Exhale, flex, bend, and hold, and press up for 3. Navel in. Push towards the ceiling for 2. And 1, point, extend, and release. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Hands underneath your shoulders, press up into your child's pose from here. Take your time just to press up and back. Take any position with your arms that feels comfortable. And just take a few deep breaths. Soften your face and jaw. And let your hips land here. Good. And as you feel ready, inhale, come forward to hands and knees. Tuck your toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Take a big inhale here, lift your heels. Exhale, walk your hands back to your feet. And soften the knees to fold at the back of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold round the spine, push the floor away. Inhale, rise. As you reach your arms, lift your heels, press into your big toe. toes. Activate your glutes, activate your quads. Start to bring your hands to your heart and lower your hips. Keep your heels lifted, trying to get yourself to hover right above your heels. Pause here, bring your knees a little bit higher up towards your chest. And then start to lean your chest back. You can use hands here too. We're just gonna drop the knees down. Now I like to bring my feet a little bit closer together, but we're having our toes curled under and sitting on our heels, everyone's favorite pose. So we're not gonna stay here for too long. We're just gonna relax the face, deepen the breath. Take a few moments here. Maybe close your eyes. Just let the bottoms of your feet rather open up. Spread the toes. Press down into the big toes a little bit more. One more breath. Hug the midline. Walk your hands forward and just tap it out. Maybe roll out the ankles again and come into your downward facing dog from here. Take a big inhale, lift your heels high, and exhale, walk your feet to the top of your mat this time. Inhale, lengthen your spine, look forward. And exhale to fold around your spine, press the floor away, come all the way up. Inhale, open through the front body. Exhale, hands release. Inhale, sweep it up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right foot steps back, spin halfway to your right. Inhale, lengthen, pull the heart forward, scoop the hips back. Exhale, fold with a long spine, releasing your head and neck, leaning into it. Inhale, lengthen, pull your chest forward, bend your right knee, and reach over towards the left. Reach through that right arm, pull the right hip back, drop your head. Start to straighten the right knee. Pivot towards the top of your mat, left foot forward, right knee comes down. Blocks or no blocks, elevate your chest, pull your chest through, take a big inhale. Exhale, half split, your choice here of where you want your hands. Take a breath. Rebend your left knee, pull the chest forward, lift your back knee up, come into your two straight legs. Find long lines of energy here. Inhale, rebend your left, look forward, step your right behind, crossing at the ankles. Set it up, walk your hands over towards the left, reaching through that right arm, pulling your right hip back, drop your head down. Inhale, lift, walk back to the top of your mat, uncross, and fold as you exhale. Soft knees, inhale, lengthen. Exhale again, right foot steps back, spin halfway to the right. Inhale, lift your chest, pull yourself forward a little bit. Exhale, fold, release your head. Inhale, lengthen, bend your left knee only. Walk your hands over to the right, reaching through that left and bowing in. Pulling the left hip back, pressing down through the right foot. Springboard off the left knee and turn towards the back of your mat. Left knee drops down, pulling the chest forward and through into your low lunge. Just take a breath. Come into your half split, pulling your right toes back, digging your right heel down. Scoop your hips back behind you, soften the right knee. Come back forward into your two straight legs. Lift up and back. Take a breath. Rebend your right knee, look forward, step up with your left, cross it behind your right, Walk your hands out to the right, reaching through the left, and giving that left hip a little tug back. Come back up, walk back forward to face the back of your mat, uncross, soft knees, and fold. Inhale, lift your gaze, look forward, step your left foot back, spin halfway to the left, Prasarita. Any position here, just take an extra breath. Inhale, lift your heart, look forward, spin to the top of your mat, step your right foot forward to meet the left, feet about hips distance, and fold. Good. This time bend your knees, slowly rise up into your Utkatasana. Just bring your hands to your heart for this Utkatasana so you can really drive down through the feet. Feel as if you're pulling your shins back underneath you, trying to get your spine vertical. Hug your low ribs in, pull the shins back, kick your heels apart isometrically, and breathe for 3. Lift your chest towards your thumbs, press your hands together for 2. And 1, come to standing and straighten the knees. Inhale, reach. And exhale, forward fold. From here, we're just going to drop down onto our seat and have a blanket if you want a blanket. We're just going to come into a Janu Shirshasana. So stretch your legs out long, bring your right knee in and open your right hip out. Turn your heart towards your left toes, inhale, and fold. Drive down through your feet and your thighs here as you fold. You can make it a little twist as well if you want to reach your right hand over to the left and use your left hand as a little kickstand. Feels really good through the low back. Take any form of this, any version to make it your own, to make it work for you. Make sure you're breathing. And gently lift your gaze up, sit upright. Bring your right hand behind you, point your left toes. We're just gonna sweep that left hand across the horizon, and if you like, you can pick your hips up, press up, down onto that right shin, squeeze your glutes, cactus your left arm, press your hips and chest through, and then slowly reverse, left arm sweeps as your hips land. Open up the right leg to like a mini Upavishta Konasana. So just a tinier version. Heels down, toes up, and just, let's actually start with our hands behind us first so we can kick the hips back. So allow the front of the pelvis to spill forward like it's laying on your thighs and feel that space through your spine. And then with that, you can start to fold. And if you want, you can even bend your knees, and that helps to rotate the pelvis forward even more. So we'll do the other variation, the bigger fold, after we do the second side, but we're just kind of prepping for this and just finding space through the sides, and the ribs and the thighs can kind of snuggle a little closer together, almost like they do in Happy Baby. Slowly and gently come all the way back up, and just bring your legs back in, bend your left knee, and rotate that left hip out. And just turn your heart towards your right toes. This is a baby twist. Start to fold. Drive down through the thighs, drive down through the feet. Option to make it into more of a twist if that feels good for you. Breathe. Maybe close your eyes. Check in. And slowly start to rise. And just bring your left hand behind you, point your right toes, sweep your right arm across the horizon, press down to lift up, squeeze your glutes, cactus your right arm, trying to hug the shoulder blades and breathe, press your hips forward, and then reverse and lower. Now we can come into Upavishta Konasana, as wide as feels comfortable for you. And just take a moment again to set up with your hands behind you. Drive your heels down, or you may want to explore even pointing the toes. But just allow the pelvis to rotate forward, pull the chest through, get nice and tall, take a breath. Option to stay right here or make it a forward fold. And sometimes I actually like to grab the block and place it under my rib cage to find a little more space. But just soften your head and neck. Breathe, keep your legs active. And again, even here you can bend your knees if you want to feel that rotation. Just if you're going to bend your knees, sit up first, bend your knees, then fold again. And press down to slowly walk your hands back in if you're folded. Come all the way upright. Soften your knees and give your legs a little shake, 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 shake all the way back. Forward. Shake, 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 shake it out. And from here, and we're gonna lay down on our backs and just have maybe your blanket or your something nearby. And then lay on down. And just gently hug your knees in, give them a little squeeze. And just last time, extend your legs up to the ceiling and just imagine you're doing a forward fold. Knees can be soft. We're just letting your spine round a little bit as you draw your legs towards your face. Just grab wherever you can. Doesn't have to look like mine. Just take a few breaths. Feel some space in the back of your legs. Maybe more space through your low back. And gently release, bend your knees. Bring your feet down, just swing your right thigh over your left. Pick your hips up and just bring them a little to the right so you can drop your knees to the left. And I like to place a block under my top knee. That feels really good for me and my twist here. So just find what works for you. And you don't have to be in specific twist. If another twist works better for you, do that. But just find space in your low back, elevate through your chest, reach through that right arm, stretch it out. Now from here, wherever you are, we're gonna start to straighten out that left leg underneath us. And if you want, you can sort of straighten out your right and kick that right foot out. If you have a wall like I do, use it. But otherwise, you can even just keep the right knee soft and let the leg fall to the floor. We're trying to just feel some length through the outer seam of our right leg. Maybe use your hand to press the thigh out a little bit. Make space in the hip crease. And we'll just gently rebend the right knee to come back through center. And just bring your left knee in to meet it. Center your hips. And just switch. So left thigh swings over. Pick your hips up, scooch them a little to the left. Drop your knees to the right, maybe with a block, your choice. And start to rotate. So what I like to do sometimes when I get into my twist is drive my elbows down like I'm doing those robot arms. Press down, lift my chest up, rotate my left ribs a little to the left. So I feel I've created a little more space, and then I can settle into my twist and breathe. And just from wherever you are, start to crawl your right leg to straight you may need to roll further onto that right hip. That's okay. Start to stretch your left leg out. Maybe you can reach the foot. It's really not necessary. And you can also bring it to the block. Yeah. And then come back into it. Maybe use your right hand to find that space in that left hip crease, pushing the thigh away from the abdomen a little bit and finding a little more length. And just rebend the left knee and softly and slowly release. Come back and find center. And from here, as you center yourself off, bend your knees and walk your feet in like you're coming into bridge. I just want you to lift your hips up a tiny bit. So low ribs in, scoop the hips underneath you. Lift them up, just like hover above the floor. And then soften your butt and shake your butt out. So I want you to close your eyes and you can sort of feel it jiggle. Really release. Release the muscles in your glutes and just shake, 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 and then set it down. This helps release the sacrum. And from here, just take any final finishing touches that you might want. Maybe you want happy baby, maybe you want legs up to the ceiling, or another different twist. But as you feel ready to set up for your Shavasana, you're going to use something, ideally a blanket or a bolster or cushion underneath your knees. Something that you can help elevate the backs of your knees a tiny bit, and maybe you even want something under your head. I want you to set up for your most optimal comfort. And close your eyes. Soften your face and jaw. Take the time you need for the logistics to set up into your Shavasana so that you can really relax. And once you get there, just together, take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And exhale audibly. Sigh it out, and then release any effort, any control, any regulated breath. Let your body just be here. If you can stay in your Shavasana for another few minutes, go for it. This is where I'll leave you, and just stay relaxed. Thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.